Hi Aries, I'm Susan, I'm your intuitive, and this is your astrology and tarot reading for love and money for the month of June for Gemini season. We're going to start with love. And we have Saturn moving into your sign on just a few days, on the 24th. So it's just 4 days away from today. Today is the beginning of Gemini season. It looks like it's time to talk about some things. Lots of pentacles showing up at first. So we have the 4 of Pentacles, the 6, the 7, the 2 of Swords, the 2 of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and Justice. Okay. Alrighty, Aries. So, and then we have the bottom. I just pushed it aside. We have the King of Pentacles at the bottom. So interesting. What you have been slowly starting to break down is wherever in your life that the structures, the values, the way in which you give, the way in which you receive, what you have on your table, everything you value right now, and things that have been put into place and been a certain structure in your life, especially in love, the way that you value people, the way they value you, that is structure that the structures at hand may need to be changed, especially if they are unhealthy or do not support your future. And it's time to take a look at what you've been perhaps blind to, in the sense of wherever you haven't had your heart open. So sometimes we think pushing through things or maintaining, if we're able to continue to live our lives, that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. And yeah, maybe that worked. But now you are deciphering what responsibilities you want to have. What are the ones that have been subconsciously placed upon you? Aries risings, this is your coming from your 12th house to your 1st house. How this has shaped your identity, and where are you now taking back control in your life, and where you maybe have had to learn this consistently time and time again through conversations and very immature ways of dealing with things, or things that had become way too casual and expected of you in this relationship. And if you've been dealing with legal matters because of all the Pentacles and the Justice here, and for Aries risings, Libra would be in your 7th house of committed partnerships, marriage, legal matters. So specifically, if you're dealing with someone in that way, or you're breaking up with someone, or you're redefining your relationship, together, then Saturn's coming in to say, okay, this is how every day you need to approach it. This is what your medicine is every day. You may need to talk about it even when you're frustrated, or talk about the things that frustrate you, perhaps, or at least acknowledge them to yourself, even if you're, maybe not meant to consistently communicate with this person, or that's not how you always want to communicate during dates if you're single and dating. You just may need to over and over again address with yourself what giving looks like, what your values are now. And sometimes that goes about and sometimes figuring that out, we go about it in one way or another. And one of the ways can be learning what you don't want, what you no longer, what you realize that it's not that this has been hard for you specifically. It's just what's been hard for you is to acknowledge that this is not what you want anymore. So it's made it harder because you don't want to let someone down, or there's things that you don't want anymore. You don't want to let someone down. You don't want to let you don't want to shift everything that you've built for so many years. or for whatever it is. And even if it's you putting in time into dating someone that hasn't been reciprocal, it's now, and maybe it didn't matter until now. Maybe you were okay with everything until now, but now you realize that you want something different. And if you're dating, you're noticing that shift throughout your dating experience. And for some of you, this justice could be, I didn't want marriage, now I do, right? It could be just what you're choosing to value and think about in terms of relationships. And that can be literal. You could have thought you were going to marry this person, or you wanted to marry this person, and now you realize you don't. So taking that example and implementing it into the way you look at how you value yourself and others, because Aries being the self, Libra being others, Saturn's now going to oppose Libra. And that will shine a light on where in your relationships things just aren't being addressed, working well, and how that's stemming from what you're not addressing with yourself. That's the twos that are coming out, because that is also, we have a 6 out and we have a couple 2s, which are very relationship numbers, and then we have Justice, the Libra card out. And what Neptune is having you do is reevaluate everything that got confusing during Neptune and Pisces. And what you're now being able to see here is that the way you've been operating has perhaps helped a lot. You've accumulated a lot. You have a lot to be grateful for. And that is the dichotomy of like, yes, and where is it in you, or what person in your life reinforces that that's more important than what you really desire. You know, maybe it's in your one-on-one relationship where you feel like maybe you're going to let this person down, and you're letting yourself down, first of all, by not like opening up about this. And you may be surprised on how they receive it so well that you wish you did it sooner. But the truth is that it's showing up now for you to address now. And that is really the biggest point of shift that I'm realizing with all of these placements in Aries, is that it's time to be really present in our circumstances, especially in our relationships, because they reflect the relationship with yourself. And that's Aries. It's I am. So sitting across from Libra, the mirror, who is now learning like true boundaries and true value of their self, that will now only reflect back to Aries. You are seeing here where there are certain responsibilities you took on because 1, you can do it. 2, you're strong. 3, as much as people think you want to fight, you don't. No, not unless you're right. Not unless you're right. If the worst parts of you want to fight for no reason, of course, but there's usually some kind of unhealthy pattern where you really just need attention involved. You're not the only one. You're not alone. Not that I always have to make that clear, but it's just the truth. And now it's you seeing like, oh, I realize this actually hinders what I'm good at. This actually takes away energy from what I'm good at. And yes, I understand my responsibilities at hand, but in this relationship, I need to be honest with myself, and I need to be grateful, but be honest, and be grateful that I can be honest, and notice what happens within that communication. I think you'll feel much lighter. I think you may find a lot of reciprocation and possibly renegotiation within the dynamic, and deciding what you actually need, especially materially here, what you actually need, where you may be overgiving because you've been overcompensating for thinking, and maybe this was your desire to build and have a lot of material or wanting materials, and now it's just shifting. Your value is shifting, your vision on value is shifting, at least for now. And you realize that there's so much that you've been attached to because of that, and that's okay. It's just making you realize that you, especially Aries with Taurus in the second house, a lot has happened in there where it feels safe to have a lot. And for some people, having clutter is literally just comfort. It's comfort to them. So you may be realizing what people, what situations have been clutter to the real truth in your relationship with yourself, in dating, and if you're in partnership. And that it's okay that this is being revealed now. This is the time and place for it. There's been a lot of pressure from this pattern. And it probably stems back to how it usually does stem back to when we're kids. So a lot is moving through Aries. And Aries, I want you to know that you'll be processing a lot. You'll be shifting a lot. And I think this lesson is really, really important for your future. So, all right, Aries, before we get into money, one of my cats is in heat, so if you hear her, all information to work with me one-on-one is below. I also have something else to say. My website, payment options, scheduling link. My Patreon is also below, where you can find where we get even deeper. We get into the second part. If you do sign up for Patreon, you get all of this right to your email. You don't even have to go on YouTube if you don't want to. It will bring you there. So, and one more thing I do want to say about the top here, and then when I see all the cards out, there's always a deeper connection as well, because love and money go so hand in hand, is that this feels at the beginning of the month, the beginning of the season, heavier than it turns out. There is a lightness, there is relief in some way, shape, or form by receiving this truth. It gives you the clarity you've been wanting and asking for that Pisces just couldn't give us. Pisces gave us a lot to heal. A lot came up, a lot got pulled out of us in order to heal. And now we can really address it in Aries. Okay? Now there's no more escaping unless you want to burn your life up, down, around. I don't know. All right, sorry for my raspiness. Okay, so money. Would you look at this? A lot less cards, but major arcanas come out and say, you're going through a rebirth with money. Your season is that rebirth. And as the shifts from Gemini, the Jupiter in Gemini to Jupiter in Cancer. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? This rebirth with yourself and how you communicate even is revealing a lot to you. So Aries, if you need to take time for yourself more often this month, say hi to my baby. She's in heat. Sorry, baby. To move through this process, or if you need to be very honest with your partner again, that's what it looks like. If you need to take, specific time alone, it's really important, perhaps. This is you transforming in a way where you'll have a lot to offer and communicate. If you haven't been doing something on the side like that, that may come into your realm at some point. There's a lot of deep healing here, a lot of emotional healing, a transformation, major transformation occurring in your life. And it's occurring in a way that is you recognizing what those deep desires are on a very instinctual level, on a primal level. And by going through this transformation, by going through this process, you will receive all the information you need to know, negative or positive, to help guide your experience, your healing. You may find that if there's a death in your life, and if this is about your death and your rebirth, you take it more serious than you've taken some other things, because there's lots of process here. We not only have death, and that's why I say, like, if there is a real death, or really honoring your death and feeling this transition and this transformation at this time, please recognize that it's really important. The emphasis is the lovers, and that's Gemini, and Gemini rules over the lungs, and lungs hold grief. So this may just be even this transformation where you actually allow yourself to process some grief, especially in areas of money, how you've handled money, how that has been a part of your worth. I'm sorry. Hello, baby, it's okay. And you're finally able to communicate that to yourself. You're finally receptive to that kind of information. Now, if there's a Scorpio or Gemini in your life, they come up very strong. This Scorpio may come into your life offering you an opportunity. This opportunity looks very promising, but it's up to what you're able to hold emotionally. Your emotional security is extremely important, and your discipline and your boundaries around that. Look at this. We'll go through these more in the second part. But you see here now that you've opened yourself, even though it has felt, Aries, hard at times, you're able to let go of what's important of your life so something new can come along. Because there could be a new job opportunity. Because that could be also the rebirth, is that you're switching roles completely. You're switching jobs completely. Pluto has just been in your 10th house for Aries risings of your role in your entire life, in the grand scheme of your life and your career. And now it's going through your 11th house of community and good fortune. It's been 6 months into this change, and now we're in a retrograde where it's having you assess and now start to communicate. And we get to see now very clearly what doesn't work, what does, what's coming with us, what's going for now until the next retrograde. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, baby. Sorry to you too, my little baby. Sorry, my little babies. She's in heat. Hey. It's okay. So we'll get more into the next part, but really this is you giving yourself the space to transform your role, your career, your money. Even if it's not like right in this moment, you're going to start to see the strategy develop. You'll have signs come to you through other people at times when maybe you really need it as well. Especially the more vulnerable you're willing to be. And that that may first start, not necessarily, but may first start in your relationship. But this Gemini season is extremely transformational. Extremely. Hey, sweetie. I know. And it really allows you to move forward from whatever's been constricting your ability to expand. And even though Saturn's moving into your sign, we still have Neptune in your sign, there's still ways of expansion happening here. I mean, Venus is in your sign as well for most of the month. Yeah, until the 6th. So not most of the month, but still we're in Gemini season is what I mean. And Jupiter going from your first house to your second house, whatever you're leaving behind is really important to understand that Jupiter is going to bring you so much abundance. Second house of self-worth. So this is you letting go of what no longer can serve the part of you oh, sorry, you're not Gemini rising. You're Aries. So, Jupiter's been in Gemini in your 3rd house and is now going into your 4th house. My apologies. And that's your day-to-day life. That's your extended family. That's your siblings, short-term travel. So that may open up the gates, whatever's, especially if you are losing a job or moving on from a job, or if you're experiencing a death, it may have you, really transform this area of your life just for when Jupiter to come through and bring in the exact kind of abundance perhaps that you are desiring on an instinctual primal level. And it's wanting to communicate that to you, and it's now communicating that to you through your experience. And because there's so much in Aries, it's like only through your experience you will know, right? All right, sorry for the back and forth. I've just been very aware of my kitty, but I feel like this wrapped up really well. Not that it needs to, right, Aries? Sorry for the crackle voice. Okay. We'll see you in the next part. All information is below. To work with me is below. Aries, we'll see you next month.